Welcome to Learning by Coding. Okay, let's work through this group activity. The first thing I did is I created a project that I called group exercise. The next thing I did is I got rid of the hello world off of my layout and I added 3 buttons. My buttons say schools, dorms, and majors. Okay. Now, instead of naming my buttons explicitly, I went ahead and named my buttons explicitly, I went ahead and created string resources for my buttons. So if we go to strings.xml, we can see that I added majors button, dorms button, and schools button, all of them with the words that the buttons should display. So I refer to them instead of the text, I use the @string / the name of the string resource. The last thing I did with the layout is I changed the name of the button itself to button major, button dorm, and button school, so that when I'm working with it in the Java file, it's easier to refer to. Now, given that each one of these is going to be a new activity, I went out and I created activities that they would refer to. So I have a dorms activity, a major activity, and a school activity. Now, each one of these is going to be a list activity. Now, list activity, if you don't remember, is listed in the Learning by Coding, so you can take a look there to see how it's set up. The first thing we do with any list activity is we create an array of string. And here I created one called dorm names. The next thing I do is I'm going to create an array adapter of string called adapter. Now it's highlighted, it's because I haven't imported the library for that yet, so I'm going to import the array adapter library. Got rid of that first error. The next thing I'm going to do is I need an onCreate. So @override public void onCreate bundle saved instance state. Okay, bundle is going to give me a little trouble because it also is waiting for a library to be imported. So I took care of that. Let's save it. Now, there's one line, first line in onCreate of everything we've done so far. Super .onCreate bundle saved instance state. Okay. That has to do with when we're running programs that have run before, we just put it there, we don't worry about it now. Now normally what we have here is set content view, and we map it to the string, to the layout file, the .xml file. But because of the list activity, it doesn't have a .xml file in the same way. So the next line is array list string my list equals new array list string arrays dot as list first names. Okay, now there's a couple of errors here. First off, if you've copied this from the lesson, you'll notice that first name gives you trouble because it's not called first names in this one, it's called dorm names. Okay, so we want to get that problem out of the way. The next thing is arrays. It doesn't know what an array is, so let me import the library for that. Array list, it doesn't know what that is either, so let me import the library for that. And now we've gotten rid of all the errors and we can move forward. The next line is to set the adapter equal to the new array adapter type string formed from this context, comma, android.r.layout simple list item 1, comma, my list. Okay, what this basically does is it creates an adapter using the list that we just created up here, and it tells it simple list item 1 is a type of layout for list activities. If you Google it, you'll be able to see that there's other ones out there, simple list item 2, complex list item, and they have different types of setups, but we're just going to go with the basic one for right now. Now that we've created the adapter, we're going to set the list adapter of this list activity to the adapter that we just created. So even though we've created the adapter, we've created a list in a way that the list looks, we haven't made that list what is showing on the screen until the set list adapter line fires. And then we get the list view, and we're going to set the on item click listener to item listener to handle our short click. Let's get another line like it on item long click listener, item del listener to handle our long click. Now, it's giving me errors on those two lines. It's because I haven't created those listeners yet. So let me go ahead and create those listeners. So private on item click listener item listener equals new on item click listener open close parens, open close curly brackets, semicolon. Get rid of the first error, import the on item click listener. Get rid of the second one. It's going to ask me to add the unimplemented methods, and so I'm good. And I think what we said it was going to say was, I love whatever you clicked. Okay? And we'll get to that in a second. But let's take care of the second one so we can get all the errors out of our program. So the second one is private. Well, actually, I could just copy this one since I've already done it. Paste. But instead, it's on item del listener, and it's on item long click listener. On item long click listener. Now, on item long click listener needs to be imported. Now, I'm still getting an error. Why? The reason why is that the on item click is what we use for a regular one. We want an on item long click. And it doesn't return void. It returns Boolean. And now this is wrong because it's still giving me trouble. Now this is why you don't copy. Actually, I thought I could get away with it. I'm not going to lie to you. But so let's take it back to what we normally type. When we hover over it, we add unimplemented methods. And then we can see that it's Boolean. It's called on item long click. And the other arguments are the same. So I'm actually surprised as to why. Oh, and I needed a return statement. That was the problem.